Hello, YouTube. This is Sovereign. Um, I just played a ranked match against this opponent here, Hansblix, who has like 130 or so games, I think, if I remember correctly. I just looked at it very briefly. Um, but yeah, as Khitans, as I said, I've been playing, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and the opening from this player was actually very very strong. Um, at least for me, it wound up not working, but only because of my scrambling to make sure that they did not break in while I was uh, doing stuff. But anyway, you'll see. Let's let's just go ahead and get into it. So the my usual standard opening of scouts. This is a chicken map, hare map, I guess, with sheep. Uh, Sometimes I take the chickens, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I push deer, sometimes I don't. Kind of just, it's not something that I'm so good at yet that I can just reliably do it because I'm still, it divides my attention a bit. Um, you already see a 14-second, 15, 9, 20. Oh God, the idle time. Yeah, so I'm still struggling a little bit in the early game with the hunt and the scouting and everything, but I'm getting different amounts of better or worse depending on how you look at it. I'm winning more games, so I'm better in that sense. But you know, sometimes I'm better or worse at the hunt. At least I get the boars under the TC, which close enough at least. So yeah, I did not see this backwood line when I went to set this up. So, unfortunately, although turns out semi-fortunately, maybe I don't know, uh, that I did take this wood line in the front. This is, I would say, like looking at the map now, I would say this is literally, this might literally be the worst spot, or if not the second worst spot to have set up a wood line. Probably really good would be here. Also, really good would be here. Maybe here, something like that. That way, wall, nice and safe, big safe area, safe gold. You can use the villagers on the walls and the golds to help each other. And then I do my usual. I run under the TC, and for some reason, it's just like I am just very unlucky. And when my opponent runs under my TC, they just take my sheep. And look at this. Look at this. I'm not even paying attention. I could have killed this guy so easy. Um, and and yes, but I take my opponent's sheep and I go to run them out, and they run directly into their villagers. So got nothing for trading 39 HP on this opening scout, which I really need. So yeah, not ideal, not ideal. But this is my style. At this point, I almost feel like I'm training myself to learn how to play the game without having a proper opening scout. So yeah, this is what I don't see, or I guess I do see it now. I'm just not paying attention enough is the problem. But this barracks is out early because, or maybe it's not out early. Let me look. No, yeah, no, this barracks is out at a normal time. But even so, I don't know. I don't know the Burgundians. I guess they're infantry and cav. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Militia line upgrades free. Ah, okay. So Burgundians are gonna like man at arms rush all the time. That's pretty much what they're gonna do. That's fine. And then smartly though, my opponent here opens by making like one or two scouts or one or two spearmen rather, which is perfect. Not for me, but perfect for them because cav is my whole thing. So obviously I'm going scouts. Um, they're going nice big walls here. I did kind of get lucky with this wood line right here. This is a nice long wall, so I can protect a big area, which is very nice. And I do. I've been making sure, like, sometimes I even throw a third or even a fourth villager on walls. You're not necessarily supposed to, but I found that it helps a lot. I make this one spear just, as a counter to their one scout. And the intention was for it to get made. This is something that I struggle with. It was supposed to get made, pop out here, and then go over here and just sort of like stand ground. Well, not literally stand ground, but like defend this area from the scout. Now, of course, now I'm thinking of too many things. Now would have been a great time to just take the scout and wheel it back around here. And yeah, here's the rush, and this rush is not I mean, it's not bad. Now, it, it is a mistake, I think, for them to be going for the barracks, I guess, but it's going to take a long time to cut through that. I think that if they had tried to cut through one of my palisade balls, like especially this one that's sticking out, um, that would have been a better move because they probably would have gotten it in a lot faster. But then I guess I would re-wall, and I'd rather repair the barracks than save it. But repairing the barracks is cheaper than building a new barracks, so I'd rather just do this. And yeah, so I decide to put a tower up right here because I figure my wood line is here. I'd really rather not have to abandon it. My production is right here. That would be like, I don't want to lose it. So I felt personally, I felt like it was worth dropping the tower here. And I think it actually worked out pretty well. Not necessarily a standard way to repel an opening like this, I think, but usually, like, I think people use these for archers. But I think it helped. And then I spend a lot of this early part here doing exactly this. Like, they are assaulting, and they're spreading out a little bit, attacking from two sides. I get my scouts out. Now, the wisdom of doing this, I'm not 100% sure. Should I have waited, built up 10 scouts, built a blacksmith to get that first upgrade, and then come out? Or was doing this the right move? Not 100% sure. It certainly pulled the pressure off of this side for a while. Like, I have a nice breathing room now. And now I just have to worry about this, which is not really that big of a deal. But now, gonna try to come back and repressure. And I decide to go around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm defending here fine without units. Let's go find some damage. So I go find some damage. And damage, oh, damage is something we find. Look at these villagers. What are they even doing out here? Opponent is doing a good job sort of attacking, but they gotta pay attention to what they're doing at home at the same time. Because I just live here now, and there's no signs of them turning around to respond or anything. They're just going to keep pressing the attack. Spearmen are fine to defend, so maybe it's fine. And I get my dudes killed, which is not ideal. But save some of them. This was not intended. I don't know why these guys popped out. Honestly. Where did they even come from? Yeah, I don't know. They weren't... I thought I had reset the stable point gather... the stable gather point to the stable. That way they can build back up again, and I guess I just waste these two scouts, but it's fine because I'm doing damage. Look at that, 4 Vil kills to their. They're not doing nothing to me. Like, they are doing damage in the sense that a lot of my Vils are being committed to defense. So they're like building or maintaining walls. I'm spending resources on wood. I have a lot more on wood than I sort of would, haha, right now, but. To be fair, because I'm going so heavy on wood just to make sure that I have enough to defend here, I have plenty of wood to build farms, well, pastures, and these are like 1/2 of my win condition, really, is getting these pastures up fast enough. So I got pastures up. I'm figuring they're probably gonna try to. I don't see like a new waves of units coming in, so I figured that they're they're just going to continue this attack while they work towards castle. So I start doing the same. I haven't had anybody on gold yet, so I put a handful of villagers on gold just to get some in. I just keep trying to be annoying with these guys. I want attention divided. I want his army split up. I want to try to keep him open as long as possible. You know, just trying to keep the pressure on him while they're keeping the pressure on me. That way, I'm not playing a purely defensive game. Like I've mentioned before, my sort of whole philosophy with playing this game is that even if the opponent is better than me at actually playing the game, if I can be annoying and knock them off balance and tilt them enough, then I get an advantage back. Um, so that's always my philosophy. That's always what I'm trying to go for. But now I'm like, all right, now I'm in the an uncomfortable period where I'm not quite. I don't have a power spike yet, um, and I'm just sort of trading. I'm trading up, I think, more or less, because I have tons of food. Like Khitans do not have to worry about food, but so I got my upgrade, and now I think I pop out that really strong Khitan forging double upgrade. Kind of reminds me of the Romans. I think their infantry get double upgrades. But yeah, I'm like, I see more units coming in now, so I'm like, all right, maybe they're committing a little bit more units to this. They're building units at home too, so to defend. So I'm like, all right, let's continue to build scout cavalry as we go up. And I'm pretty sure I could take this fight now with the upgraded cav. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to eat up a bunch of gold units, so I'm fine with it. Trading my food for their gold? Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. More food will come. And then I'll finally get this pressure off. So now I only got to worry about this one side. My villagers have been diligently keeping this wall up. In my opinion, like, I don't know if I would say that they're wasting time doing this at this point. Like, clearly I have defended, right? They're not going to get in, doing more of the same. So I think now is when they start thinking about switching. Yeah, they're saving up their food, and they need a bit more gold because I killed their gold villagers, which is very good for me, or they may be closer. But yeah, I've got 5 vill kills. Look at that, 5 vill kills. Very nice. Trading armies, killing their vill kills, defending. I feel like I'm doing all right here. I feel actually pretty good about this game. And now these guys are dead. Now he honestly should turn to fight. These guys here should turn to fight me and just trade. I think at least, because otherwise they're either just gonna die or get pushed off, and they're not gonna matter. They're not gonna be relevant to the game anymore. So you might as well spend their HP to take these guys out. Although that's not bad. They regrouped with the spearmen. This fight I think is a little bit too rough for me. I don't like this fight. Yeah, I lose that fight. But it's okay, because I killed tons of gold units. And again, their attack on my base is pretty much over. They want to, but all they got left is spearmen, who can't do shit. They just have to stand there and look threatening to my cav. So they're going stables. I assume... Oh, interesting. 2 barracks and a stable. I'm not 100% sure what that means. What knights and infantry? More infantry, I guess. Knights and like spears, pikes. I don't know. Maybe that's the plan. But yeah, so I kept building, right? I keep making these cav. I think I've stopped now. Maybe no. I'm just making them. And I can take sort of even fights with spears. It's just not a good trade, so I would rather just find damage. So yeah, I come back around. I know that this gate got built, but I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I can break it. Spear boys here. I can kill a single spearman, no problem. Yeah, okay. So I have stopped making cav finally. Now that I feel like sort of in control. And then I've clicked up, and I'm getting some upgrades. It's good. This would have been in earlier if I hadn't been spending lots of time and resources on defending. but worth, because you know they're up first, like, which I'm sure was the plan, right? But they're up with a smaller economy, and they're gonna boom, right? And see, I think this is like the big mistake. The big mistake that they made here is they're gonna boom, and I want to say they made a third TC somewhere very soon. I'm sure, but obviously I'm not gonna fight this. That would just be suicide. All spearmen, and I actually love to see this. 12 spearmen, because these spearmen are not a threat, really, to the step lancers. Certainly not a massive step lancers. Even if they were all pikes, they wouldn't be something I'm too concerned about, because the step lancers are going to have their double attack upgrade, and they're going to be very strong. And these guys are very slow and not really much of a threat. Yeah, here's the third town center. So they're like, all right, I've made my attack. I put my opponent off guard. I delayed their castle age, which they did. My castle age is very delayed. And great, good job. And then now they're gonna like, okay, I'm gonna boom. But the problem is that like they don't know what my plan is. My plan is like not completely all in, right? But I'm gonna step more on the produce units gas pedal than I'm going to step on the get upgrades, make town centers, and boom gas pedal, because I know that all they've really got is like a handful of defensive units, and the attack is over. So, you know, in my mind, you know, shark brain, and I got 3 stables because I'm like I've built up a huge economy before getting to Castle Age. This is actually a much bigger economy than I'm used to having in the beginning of Castle Age. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. They're going spears. Okay, am I gonna counter their spears with whatever skirms or something, or infantry? No. I'm just going to increase my production of step lancers by 50% compared to what I was planning, and I can afford it. I can afford tons of step lancers. So now I think is sort of where my opponent has made a mistake, maybe that they aren't aware of, but they're making a mistake. Because even if right now, like, say I wasn't going, you know, I not all in, but like gonna be going extremely aggressive with step lancers, and that being my plan. Even if that wasn't my plan, I would just be booming also. And like I'm not sure what much of a difference there would be between the two of us. We would both be booming. I would be in Castle Age, my preferred age, with pastures, which are spirited farms. So I feel like that also would not have worked out. It just would have been a longer game. But here we go. I see this. I want to come and take this gate, and then I see the castle, and oh my god, only 3 villagers building this castle, bro. This I can't respect. I've respected my opponent up until this point, but I can't respect this. You're going for like a forward castle on a hill, which is fine, except that like it threatens nothing. I suppose with some upgrades it'll threaten this wood line, but it's you know, this wood line can migrate now, no problem. So like I don't know what this would even gain. You've just spent a bunch of stone and a bunch of resources, opportunity costs, I guess you could say, gathering the stone. And now what do you got? You know, you've got 2 barracks, and I've been producing on 3 stable knights, or 3 stable step lancers for several minutes now. So you're not gonna be able to catch up. There's just nothing you're gonna be able to do to catch up. You don't even have, you know, upgrades. Not even close. Like I've got Imperial Age attack upgrades on these guys. That's effectively what the +4 amounts to. So I take out the castle, so they lose all their stone, and obviously they're still mining stone because they want to put up another castle, I guess. But I'm mining stone because I'm a crazy person, and that's what I do. Once I get in your base, if I can get away with it, once I get in your base, I will drop a castle in your face, because I don't want you in my game anymore. Because this is my game now, as far as I'm concerned. Right now at this point, I'm always like nervous and worried about what could happen. But at this point, I'm like 95% sure that I have already won this game. And maybe the opponent doesn't think so because they have all these TCs, they're booming, they have all these resources, but A, their economy is kind of inefficient. Um, but B, they don't have anything to defend, and all their booming means nothing in the face of all these step lancers. Like even here, I'm like, screw it, let's dive. They can't garrison, or they're not garrisoning. So kill as many villagers as possible. Uh, and then, yeah, I probably should have cleared this up before I sent these guys in, but it turned out to be fine actually. Who cares? That's why you send 10 villagers so that some of them can get distracted, some of them can get killed, and it's fine. So now, yeah, so this is smart. They are trying to build a castle here, uh, and like throw a foundation down, so I can't throw my foundation down. But I clear them out, move everybody out of the way, and then this is the get out of my game castle. Um, so I'll just defend this basically for a minute while it comes up. And yeah, this castle goes up. There's not really any point playing anymore, from my perspective. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna Vil rush, but literally they just are gonna yep, and then that's it. But yeah, they're just gonna feed my step lancers. But yeah, look at that. Very happy about this. I thought, yeah, I did build a monastery at one point, thinking about relics, but I was too busy pumping out lancers, and sometimes I feel like if you realize you're in the middle of dealing a killing blow, sometimes it's best to just like forget about the other plans that you have and just like focus on, at least this is for me, and focus on just dealing that killing blow, because there's the monks don't matter, the relics don't matter, more TCs don't matter. Like I put this one up finally because I just barely got enough to put it up. Um, after I went back on stone because I spent all my stone on this tower in the beginning, but which worth, very worth. But yeah, all that doesn't matter if the game is over because I've executed the killing blow uh, correctly, and not been paying attention to other things, and throwing the game by screwing up the push. But yeah, there we go, bam. And you they don't Veil Rush, right? This goes up, and then this TC is just a matter. It's just a matter of time before it goes down. After that goes up, I probably would click fletching, and then maybe whatever the next one is. Um, can't remember off the top of my head now. Um, Botkin era. There we go. And then basically what would happen, my plan would be, because I figured maybe they're gonna build knights, and they're not. They're building light cab, which, LOL. I'm not. I really don't understand. Like, what's this? I haven't put a monk on the field. I don't really get what the point of these light cab is. I guess the idea is to raid me, maybe. I don't know, but you can't raid me. You've already tried to break into my base and failed. So, what are you raiding? Um, they were smart though with the TCs. Like, first of all, let's be nice about certain things. Opponent walling is amazing. They, I mean, maybe like I would have walled here like this, but regardless, they walled their whole base. They walled out like this whole corner of the map basically. They staked it all out. They claimed it. It's a little greedy, I guess, but because like imagine if I had been attacking here and not really breaking in, and they just swing a bunch of units around here or here, then it's gonna take them a long time to get villagers over here to repair or replace, and by that time, these guys you saw they melt the gate in like a second. So, but anyway, very nice walled off base, building their town centers inside their walls. I've seen people drop their initial town centers like outside, and I know that like I've definitely seen. I think maybe people are taking Hera's advice a little too literally, because they'll say like, all right, once you're in castle and you want to boom, it's like don't be scared to break outside of your walls. You like literally break the palisades and just like go out and build a town center here, which you could definitely do that. Um, but it is a bit safer to just drop your first, maybe in your second, but probably just your first town center inside, like on your stone or on another wood line, and then break out to like the back side of your base, and then like put a town center here or here, something like that. Um, because then you're more compact and more protected, and you can actually build villagers and have them do things without worrying about them getting murdered. But yeah, the opponent was smart, did put them inside the walls, but you know, this is not great placement. I would place it right up against it. Um, this is fine, but yeah, very good initial push, and then yeah, I don't think that they um, followed it up well in Castle Age, and Castle Age is sort of both mechanically is a power spike, a big power spike for the Civ, which is why I like it so much. But one of the reasons why I like the Civ so much is because my personal skills and preferences sort of spike in Castle Age. That's sort of my preference. My preferred age is, I would say, Castle Age. Um, but yeah, I was prepared. I was like, yeah, all these monks are like right next to me, ready to grab. 3, 4 of them right in front of me. I was about to start grabbing them, but just not really necessary. Uh, Once this castle went up and I was defending an area here, that's when I probably would have remembered, oh yeah, shit, and started queuing up dudes to take this stuff. But yeah, let's check out the statistics. You know, it's funny. I feel like my effective APM fluctuates a little bit in that, like, the harder I'm sort of trying, the APMs go up. But then as I get like more competent with a strategy or a playstyle, the APMs go down slightly because I don't know, I feel like there's like a balance of like spam clicking trying to get stuff done versus like efficiently clicking and then just doing the fast clicking but more efficiently. I feel like there's a dynamic there as you improve. But good floating resources, at least compared to my opponent. Good worker efficiency compared to my opponent. Love to see it. Got all the score stuff, obviously. KD, I love to see it. Uh, okay, lost a couple buildings. Barely any army, really. I mean, I say barely. 27, step lancers is a lot of army, but yeah. Economy. This is very interesting. They collected much more wood than I did, which is very surprising considering I used a shit ton of wood just defending from their assault. So probably some inefficiencies in their economy and how they're doing things. What are they floating? I forgot what they're floating right now. They're actually floating a ton of every resource. I'm floating a shit ton of food, which I've been doing a lot with Khitans, because I'm trying to get the farming output early on. So I build a bunch of them, and then they're just so efficient that 24 farms would not be putting me this ahead. 24 pastures though, oof. It's like I got all the food in the world. So that's why I just kept putting more dudes on gold. Probably would have broken out and made another mining camp over here, made another mining camp here, because it's the gold becomes the actual limiting resource with this spam, step lancer spam, because they're pretty cheap on gold, but they're kind of expensive on food. So if you have tons of food, food doesn't matter. You need more gold, more gold, more gold. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't building these guys right away. I just sort of built it as an option and then needed the gold. Technology, good feudal times, I think, for both of us. Maybe mine was slightly late, but it's fine. Castle time was definitely very late. Normally, I want to say I try to get between like 20 and 23 minutes of castle time with this kind of strategy. But that early assault was relentless. May have actually worked in my favor, to be honest, because all the food and gold production and all the economy that went into that push did not go into getting them a good castle each time. Uh, and you know, Catan scouts with the early forging upgrade are actually very effective feudal units against most of what the opponent can throw out at you, including spears, unless it's just like a huge mass of spears. But yeah, always try to keep that exploration up. There's a point here. Let me show you. I've been trying to remember this, and I think it's a good tip for people. Where after sort of the push with the scouts is over, and I can't get more value out of them. Like I think Like I, no, not this point, not quite yet, because I'm still using scouts a lot, doing a lot of damage. There's a point, yeah, here. So at this point, I get in. I'm just being annoying, looking for something to punch. I see tons of spears. I'm like, whatever. I'm trapped in. Uh, you know, whatever. It's fine. So these guys are a lost cause. So, but I have these two scouts here, and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with these two scouts? I'm not gonna upgrade to light cav for two scouts in Castle Age. So probably not gonna use them for that purpose. So what should I do instead? Well, I have a good chunk of unexplored map left. I've actually explored all of my resources, I think. Hold on, I don't know, most of them. There's a couple like the enemy gold here that I haven't seen. This one stone patch. So I'm like, okay, let's. They're useless for military purposes now. There's just those two scouts. So I'm just gonna actually go figure scout. I'm gonna scout with the scouts. So I send one scout out to one side, and I spam shift click, and I send another scout to the other side to go to the corner, and shift click all the black area, and so then by the end of the game, um, I've explored every single relevant portion of the map, and can think about resources if the game extends, know where the relics are. I even know about the one in their base, which they haven't picked up, even though they have tons of wood and tons of gold. Build one here. That would have helped a little bit at least, having that trickle of gold. Certainly the monks would have helped, perhaps, against the step lancers. To keep like your monks under the TC, kind of like do the same thing as you do with knights. Step lancers, I guess, are a little bit more threatening though, because I think they're faster than knights, and they also have the reach, so they can actually rush up to the monk pretty quickly. But what else are you gonna do, right? You gotta defend, so defending doesn't have to be easy, but you still have to do it. But anyway, what's the last statistics we haven't looked at? Society. I'm only looking through these because I know that some people like to see the numbers, so might as well look. Pretty much equal villagers, or at least current count. They definitely made more villagers than me. They had extra TCs, and I bet you they had less idle. Oh no, they had more idle time, but probably just because they had extra TCs. 6 minutes of idle time and 37. Like, I'm not gonna crucify myself over that. I am building villagers here right now, so you know, yeah. Khitans versus Bulgarians. Uh, Pro tip for me to remember: Bulgarians get free militia upgrades, so expect man-at-arms rush. Um, a cheaper, faster man-at-arms rush, uh, which is good for them. Did not save them though. Final look at the map. Final look of the base. Yeah, second TC would have probably gone out here somewhere, something like that, or maybe here. Who knows? I have map control. Might as well put it forward. But yeah, when these run out sometimes and I don't have enough wood, I'll just have the villagers run to wood, like whatever. I'll pull somebody else off if I need more pastures later. I think that's a good practice. Instead of just like having them stand there and just like spam clicking, trying to rebuild a farm and wait for the resource. No, no, no. If your farms are expiring and you can't rebuild them, then just send your dudes off to wood because you need wood. Just don't. I probably should have rebuilt this lumber camp, but I built the second one up here, so it's whatever. It's fine. Anyway, all right. I'll see you guys next time.